Stampers and Crafters. This is Kevon at ktstamps.com, creating cards for you. And I'm here to wish you a happy hump day. I am just so excited. I can't tell you guys how much I love coming on and being able to share my cards with you, share my understanding of cards, share my creativity, and I hope that you can take this and run with it. So that's why I am here, and I'm so excited. Now, I'm going to do the exact same sketch from last week. I'm just going to add some different techniques that we're going to use with this. Some of them I can't remember what the techniques are called, and we're just going to have some fun today. So without further ado, here is our first card. Right there. So now I have everything that we need. Starting off with the stamp, and the stamp set is called Prairie Grass. Love this stamp. So I just thought, I like the color blues. I love blues put all together, and I just needed to have a hit for a great blue card. So my darker color below is, let me get this out of the way, is Blueberry Bushel. Next is Azure Afternoon. And the last is Balmy Blue. So that's the 3 steps up. Over on the side, I have a mat or a layer as Azure Afternoon. This layer right here for the sentiment is Balmy Blue. And then inside with Blueberry Bushel, I stamped the inside. I also used the stamps, Iridescent Faceted Gems. Now, these are on the last chance, and I do not know if they're still there. When I checked yesterday or the day before, they were still there. But you got to get them because things are running out pretty fast, you guys. So don't be shy. Go get them. I have the small and the large, well, the small and the blending brushes to use everything for the front of this card. Then I also have some Memento, and it is going to just be these beautiful little prairie bushes that is available. All right, so we're going to get ourselves started. First thing we need is that we need just a scratch paper. And we are going to start off, well, let's try to put the card a little bit together. So I have already stamped the inside. And yes, I did stamp this Azure Afternoon instead of Blueberry Bushel because I made a mistake when I did that. I picked up the wrong color and just went stamping. Then we have our Azure Afternoon and our piece of white, basic white cardstock. On this also is a sentiment from the Prairie Grass, and then I just added dimensions on the back so we could stick it at the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this piece of cardstock, and everything is sticking to me. Whoop, whoop. I'm going to move it towards the left side of the card. And again, if you guys need measurements, all the measurements are on my blog. All right, so there we go. So we have that. We're almost done with that. So I'm going to move that all the way. Let's hope I don't lose it. We're going to take our piece of white cardstock. We're going to take our small blending brush. We're starting off with our Balmy blue. We're going to start off and move on to the cardstock. And we're going to do about a third of the way down. Now, as you can see, most everybody does their biggest dots when they put the brush down. So that's why you really want to, and you can see my dots, you can see my big old dots here. Excuse me. But that's one of the reasons that I start off and move on. Now, I could try, but see, there's still a big old dot there. And I am just moving the cardstock to all sides so I just get it the light blue color that I wanted. Baja blue would have been my first pick. Sad that's going away. All right, and we can come back with this color if we need to. Now, because I started with a light color and then I'm going to a darker color, it's okay that I use the same brush. If I went from this color to the blue, it would be a totally different game. And on the last one, that stamp set is a little bit juicier than these. And so I'm just kind of running all the colors into one another, so they're just kind of blending. You can see that there's the blending more at the top here than there is down at the bottom. And the noise that you're hearing in the background is my cat. One other thing I want to talk about, and that is how to hold the brush. If you hold the brush more towards the back, more towards where the handle is, it's a lighter press. If you hold it with your fingertip on the brush itself, you can see it comes out darker. Again, over here, lighter with the first little blush versus darker as I press. Okay, and even if I press off and I go on, this gets a darker color. So a lot of times you can start off light and then go for the pressing. All right, so far we have used 2 colors. And a lot of times if I wanted to go back to the other blue, then I would just continue to wipe off some of these, and if I had a wet rag, I could wash it off too. The last one then, I am bringing in my brush in case I do want to come in with a different color than I have this. And this one you can see, I'm pressing just a little bit harder on that. Off and then back on. And you can see the difference. And now I'm going to start moving it up. So the colors are just going into an ombre look. And you can see that the blue is the lightest. And I can't use this blue with the light blue because of how dark it still colors. So I'm going to go back and try to get my Balmy blue to be just a little bit darker. Okay, there it's a little bit darker. So that's my ombre that I have just now created with my blues. So with that being done, then I'm going to get out my stamp. And it is a large stamp, big and tall. And I turn it over just to kind of let it flatten out. from here then, I'm just going to take my block. This is my F block, and I'm just going to pick it up. Bringing over, because it is such a large stamp, and sorry guys, this is crooked at the bottom. I want to make sure that's as straight as possible, because I'm already very crooked when I am stamping, because I like things, I can't get anything straight. It seems like they all like to be off to the side one way or the other. So now I just took my Memento and I just stamped with bottom up, ink pad down, and I find that it works better on a larger stamp. So now I'm going to bring it in here, line it up towards the bottom, take it slightly towards the left, because I know that my stamp is a big one. And then just remove it off. And then I will make sure that I clean this stamp. But look at this. Isn't this just beautiful? And I am, oh God, I don't know what I did with it. I have my spray, and I'll look for that spray. I may have to be looking the whole time that I am doing this, looking for the spray just to find out where it is, and it's the spray that I've mixed alcohol and Stella. And there we go. I really like the way that the blue just kind of pops everything in the back. All right, just give me a minute. My cat is laying on everything, and it had a great time. I didn't realize, there it is, pushing everything off the table. So I am going to bring in my sentiment, take off the back, and I'm going to add this down towards the bottom. Oh, I'm going to go up just a little bit, probably about 2/3 the way down. There we go. Shake up. My color and just give it a spray. And as you can see, it really has brightened up. And that is my spray, and that is the card, with the exception of putting on the embellishments. And I'm just going to get these out. These are beautiful. God, I love these. I'm really sad they're going away. So I am going to grab a small one, place it down here. I like to really have something so people will notice the sentiment. I am taking another one, and I just really like to find spaces where everything can be connected in triangle shapes. One more, there looks like there's going to be a little empty space there, and then I'm going to grab one big one and put up close by the top. So there's lots of triangles going on here, and that's exactly what you want, so your eye really moves. And that's our first card. It's pretty nice. And I thank everybody who is watching. I have a lot of watchers that don't ever let me know that they're there, but I need to let you know I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here and being with me. So that's our first card. Whoop, whoop. Pretty fun. All right, so our next card looks like this. And this is a debossed with daubers technique. And so that's what we're going to do. I'm just kind of getting ready, and lots of the sunflowers are coming out. They're beautiful. I love just the browns, the oranges, the greens, getting me ready just a little bit for fall, which I'm really deeply sad about. And then I'm going to also tell you how I made this bottom. Now, these cards are made from the Layered Thoughts. And again, it's just the happy birthday on here. This is the Cutest Cows. Now, the Cutest Cows also on the Last Chance. Get it, you guys. I can't tell you how awesome this is. Punch that goes along with it, and it's just really well worth your time and fun. And it's the only one that has some little sunflower seeds. I'm also using the antique pearls, and I used the blending pen, or the Stampin' Blends, the dark one, and I just colored it in. And I just used the bold side and just colored it in so I could have them green and kind of pop the color just a little bit. And there's a couple of different ways you can do this. And I have my daubers. And I'm going to show you that right now. Now you can take your daubers. I'm gonna do orange because it shows up better. You can do your daubers and stamp right on. Okay? Or what I did, because oh god, I did it in orange in crushed curry. Oh, Kevon, you gotta read your daubers. Or you can just take it and stamp it at the bottom or at the top of the bottom of your stamp. Okay. And again, I'm going to do the same thing here. That's my lazy way. Give it a Darth Vader huff. Press it down. And there's my flowers. So that's how I did it. I thought it was just really easy to do that. Daubers sometimes can take a little bit longer time, but this was just well worth my time, I thought. So the colors that we have right now, and this down below is done in crushed curry and also Daffodil Delight. This is done in early espresso. So that's what the inside is made out of. So I'm just going to insert the card. There we go. I also have some linen thread that I'm going to use at the top. The card base is made out of early espresso. This is crumb cake, and it's just going to go right along the side. And then this you can see is popped out. So this is the embossed part of the Sunflower 3D embossing folder. If you turn it over, you have the debossed side, where all the sides were sticking out on the front side. On the back side, they're all dipping in. And that's what we can use when we use the debossing part. Now, there are two different ways in this debossing part that we're going to talk about. I guess this is going to be the best side. You can either start coloring all the insides, Or you can deboss, which I'm going to do because I find it easier. And that is, you're just going to turn your cardstocks whichever direction that you need. You're going to take the top of your stamp pad and you're going to lightly drag it down the side of the card. So I'm just going to lightly drag it down. Then I'm going to turn it the other direction and lightly drag it down. Yes, some of the stuff will end up on the deboss side. But this just lets you know exactly where are you going to color. And it takes all the raised area and it colors it. And again, this is early espresso. So that's how I get ready to do my debossing. So from here, I'm just going to start with my lighter. Oh, I forgot. I did this twice. First one I did with crumb cake. And you can see the difference in the color. You can see where some of the crumb cake comes out. So if we were to rewind really fast, first thing we would pull is down with our crumb cake. Then the second layer would be the early espresso. So these are going to come out just a little bit different, and I will show you how they turned out so you can see what I'm doing. Crushed curry. So I am hoping that this will come out. So the first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to bring my crushed curry out. It's going to be a little bit darker. And all I'm going to do is brush and drag the color all the way to the end of the flower. And this is going to take the longest for you to do this, but it turns out so pretty. Now, a couple of other things you can do is that you can open up. Oh, let's see. I already know that I have to have one that has. You can open up the bottom and take your painter and color that in and drag it all across here. You can use your markers. You can use your Stampin' Blends, or you can use the colored pencils. So it's up to you to decide what do you want to use to pop this debossed color. And for me, I'm just using the color and the daubers. The other one I have done before with the blends, and it turns out beautiful. It's a little more deliberate, and you can color it and get more shading in it. I like how quick and easy this is. So there's one layer, and that looks nice enough on its own. But we're going to keep on going. We're going to bring in now our, what did I do? Crumb cake. And we are going to use the crumb cake on the inner part of the flower. And I am gently pressing, well, I'm more than gently pressing on this. Now you're asking me, why am I doing that now? Because I'm going to color up a lot of the bottoms to this. So I might as well get the brown on before I get the orange on. And so that's what the inside color is going to look like. So you can already see how it builds on each other. So now I am going to bring in our pumpkin so we get a little bit of pop that goes on at the bottom. And all I'm going to do is pull this at the bottom. Leave the yellow at the top. So this is my shading colors that I am doing right now. And if you want to, you can pull the other direction. I think it's up to you how you want this to look. If you want to, you can pull the orange out just a little bit further. And again, all of these are going to fit together so well. That's one of the things that I like about this, is that it just, I love the way that this looks. Now I'm just twisting it and turning it so I can get the best pull on my dauber. And you can already see how things are popping. And it's just, it's so beautiful. I love the way this looks. Let me see, and my last one then will be Old Olive. So far I've used Crumb Cake. Well, let's start all over again. I used on the drag. I should have used Crumb Cake and Early Espresso, but I only did Early Espresso. Then I started off with Crushed Curry, which was the yellow. Went inside with Crumb Cake. Orange at the bottom to start popping the color, and now I'm going in with Old Olive just for the leaves. And yes, I'm pressing just a little bit harder with this because it's nice, because the brown gives it a darker color, or the appearance of a darker color, and then lighter on the outside. I really like the way that looks. And you can drag the ink with any color. It doesn't just have to be Memento or Stays On. It can be any color you want. You know, this would be beautiful with an orange color. So it's up to you how you would like to color in your sunflower seed, or your sunflower. There you go. I want it a little bit darker up here, and I really like the way that turned out. So I'm going to go a little bit darker in here so I can pull some more colors. So look at that. Doesn't that just look beautiful? Almost looks like we are going wild in a jungle. So that's how you do the emboss side. It's so nice. And you can see the difference between the two. Okay. All right, so we're going to move that out of the way. This one we're going to do a little bit differently. We are going to take the back side, and because I embossed it, I always like to use glue, and I'm going to bring out my little silicone pad. And you want to be able to make sure that you get your ends down, so it stays on the piece of layered cardstock. So I cut this 1/8 of an inch smaller, and you can just see how the Crumb Cake brings out, it kind of pops the Early Espresso, and it pops a little bit more of the orange in here too. Love the way this looks. So great. So now I'm going to take this and just pull my tape. My cat's in here. One's laying all over the stamping table, and it is just in full bliss. And the other one just is walking up to me, licking my leg, saying, "I'm here, baby." Now, I decided I really didn't want anything else on this as far as a sentiment. So I am leaving it as it is. But, there is a but, yes. I am going to bring this in here. And again, I'm all about sparkle right now. I don't know why, but sparkle is what I like on my cards. And that just kind of pops the centers to me just a little bit. And I don't know if you can see it, but boy, it just adds a nice little pop to it. All right, so now we're going to let that rest just a little bit. But we are bringing in our linen thread. And we are going to, I kind of want this as much in the middle as I can. So I'm going to have a bigger, let me get this up here so you can see it. So mine's going to be bigger, but I'm also going to go around one more time. I'm leaving it on the stool. All right. So this is going to be all together. I'm going to loop this tail around, under, and through. Now I'm figuring out that this is exactly where I'd like to have the bow. So I am going to bring in my glue dot and take your pick, and I'm going to pull on it just a little bit, if I can pick it out, and put the glue dot right where I want it, pull tight and stick, pull tight and stick that glue dot down, so now I can work with my ribbon. So I'm going to do my nice little, well, I've already done that, but I'm going to do it anyway, because that's the way I tie my shoe. So I'm going to make a loop and a loop, and then, sorry, I like to keep pulling it down and just working the bow part of my thread. There we go. And then I'm going to bring in my scissors and I'm going to give it a cut. So there we go. That's our bow, just like the other one. All right, then I'm bringing out my antique pearls, and I'm going to put them on my card. And sometimes it's best if you color these and let them sit for a while. All right, let's put one right up here. I want to put another one inside this big sunflower. And then I want to put one more down over here. So it's just up in the corner, down and around. So again, my triangle. And yeah, you know, I'm going to use some little ones. It may have been better if I just used the smaller ones. and didn't color them. And I don't know. Yep, that one came off okay. We can see, I'm doing my doctor thing now again. It seems like I always have to do some type of surgery with this. And I'm going to use a big one. And I'm going to put it right there. Let me see if I can get this one off. Yep. This one I have the stuff on the bottom and on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. And I'm going to put it, I'm going to just put it right in the center. There we go, 1, 2, 3. So I'm changing it to C. Yep. All of those came off. And now I'm just going to add one more down at the bottom. I think I'm going to go with the big one. Move it there. So we're adding just ones without anything. And I should have added that. Let me see if I can get this off. There we go. There you go. That looks a little bit better. So I've spread them out just a little bit better. So I'll deal with that later. So that's my card. The second card. All right. And here are the 2 cards that I made today. And I sure hope that you enjoy them. It is so much fun for me to stamp, to share, and hopefully you guys are. Oh, thank you, Lori. You're so sweet. I really appreciate you being here. Big hugs, big hugs. You're such an inspiration to me. And please, case these, show them to me on what you make, subscribe on YouTube, like me on Facebook. I'm just here because I love what I'm doing. And I just really appreciate you guys following me and you take the time just to watch the videos. So thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. So you guys take care. I'll see you next week. Again, this was our sketch that we did today. I did forget to put something on this. But sometimes you got to just allow your creativeness just to run away with you. And my name is Kevon. I'm from ktstamps.com. And remember, that's where you can get all your measurements. And I love creating cards for you. So big hugs, big kisses. Have a great day. Thank you for stopping by. Take care now. Bye-bye. Bye, Lori.